Okay, so hello everyone, Leo here, Chilean physician and science fiction author. And this video is gonna be a little bit different from the others because I'm thinking I'm doing some videos, of which this would be the first one, on some personal commentaries about my own experience of writing, or as you know, just as a writer or as a physician writer, which would be my particular case. And of course, it's a very broad thing to go into, so I'll just start by certain small things or certain important aspects that I do consider to be crucial in terms of at least what has been my own experience of writing. And the number one, the first thing that I would like to point out is the importance of actually reading a lot. So reading a lot, I think, to me, is the first crucial aspect to mention. And so, for example, I know there are several quotes or several mentions in terms of how important this is. And to me, I know there is one that I really like from William Faulkner, of whom I really like the novel Light in August, just to mention. And he said, read everything. I believe he said something like, read everything, trash, classics, good, the bad, everything, and see how they do it. And then there is another one that came out, of course, later, but that I do like a lot, and it's from Stephen King, that he said, if you don't have the time to read, then you don't have the time or the tools to write. And that one in particular really got stuck with me, I think, or at least I try to live up to that in terms of I'm always telling myself that I must have time to read first before actually having time to write. To me, that's such a crucial step that I do try to, or it's not that I do, it's that it actually shapes the way I deal with my own writing or my literary process, let's say, or how I live the reading, writing experience in general. So read, that's the first thing. And why I mentioned this, and you probably noticed when I was walking here that I was holding two cases, because I want to just show you one example of what I was reading recently. So I was just at the beach this past, actually I came back to Santiago yesterday. I was at Pichilemu, Chilean beach that I really, really like, with my wife. Came back yesterday, and we went some time to rest, and it was her birthday. We had a lot of fun, but I got some books with me to read, and just to show you why I think it's important of having the time to actually read a lot. Because there's such a variety of things. Just want to contrast this experience, for example, because I think it's relevant or important to me at least. So I got to read. I finally ended this book, which I loved. Like, I truly love, from Andy Weir, a long novel, a science fiction novel, let's say, in the classical aspect of like kind of the golden age of the American science fiction, just to put it in a simple manner, just to represent it in a way, an adventure in space with a lot of science. But also, I recently finished this one, which is a Chilean science fiction novel from Diego Escobedo, La Virgen de los Hielos. And it's such a different experience, so different, but it's also very particular to each country, I would say. For example, because I know that in the US, I would usually find a lot of long novels, but then here in Chile, or perhaps in South America, it's very common to actually work on the short novel format more often. I would usually find more of this. So, in a way, this reading experience allows me to keep updated on what's happening or what's going on, and to see how things are being written. Just to mention, for example, a cultural thing that I've always find fascinating is that when it comes to Spanish or literature written in Spanish, we don't make the distinctions of novelette, novelle, or novel. It's just a short story or a novel. It's guided by a different principle. This is, of course, a simplification. But for example, I don't know the amount of words that's in this one, but it would probably not be enough for the typical science fiction novel length classification to be considered. But here's just a novel. We just consider it a novel. And just to mention one aspect, this is only me trying to do a point of the importance of my experience with writing, as it is about reading. Yeah, so that's what I want to mention. Ooh, and by the way, I truly love these cases for carrying books. By the way, just want to show them because I truly love them. Cadre, that's where I buy them from. So I have different sizes. But anyway. Okay, so of course there's also having some fresh air, also as well as reading. I just wanted to make this a little bit more dynamic. So sometimes I actually do read here in the outside, let's say, but not so often because could be could be too noisy or too much heat. For example, today it's very hot, but this is also a reading place for me, and that's how I want to end this commentary on my own experience in terms of writing, the writing experience or the physician writing experience. I'm gonna go into the physician part eventually, of course, but these changing locations is just a symbol to represent of how I think it's important to try to read everywhere, or as much as you can. Of course, there are, I would add, several ways of reading a book. Sometimes I take a lot of time reading a certain book. Sometimes I can read it really fast. It truly depends, but I believe that's also part of the experience of the wide variety of writing. I mean reading, of course. Sorry, just having some short circuit here. So yes, as this first commentary, the importance of reading, which in my case I do hold to the higher standard, let's say, or something that I truly follow. So let me know if it's also that important to you as well. Now I'm gonna head inside though, because it is getting really hot outside. Okay, so I'm back inside with Hulky, of course. It was really hot outside, so we just came back in. So, well, that's about it. As I mentioned, first commentary of this personal experience with writing, and number one is just to read a lot. Once again, it really is something that really has stayed with me. The concept of if you don't have time to read, then you don't have time to write. I do live by that as a reminder, I would say. So that's it for now. Not sure when I'm gonna do another commentary, but this is certainly the first one in that perhaps series. Who knows? So hope you liked it, and this is just another video from your friendly dermatologist, sharing some of this experience and enjoying the process, of course. So till next time, see you around and take care.